Okay, today I'm fixing the cigarette lighter in my truck that operates whenever you got the key turned on, and it turns off whenever the key's off. Anyways, I tried to get into it and mess around with it the other day. Couldn't figure out where the fuse was, so I thought, okay, well, I'll just start poking around and see what I can do. And, well, I accidentally broke the cigarette lighter. And of course, it takes a specific one. You can't just get an aftermarket one. But the way it comes is like this. And it's got the plug and play part for the Chrysler Dodge 1500 truck. But you also have to have the stop piece, which it didn't come with. So you can get it, but they're all sold separately. It's got that Walmart mentality to it. Anyways, back in a bit. Okay, and if you see, it's got these little tabs on here. You have to get those to pop out. Just be careful that you don't break the plastic, because you need this for it to set into the panel like it's supposed to. And there's one on each side. I got one of them to come up just a little bit, and the whole thing came loose, so you can just slide it out at that point and then push it back into the new one. Anyways, okay, putting this back together, it's pretty well idiot proof. It only goes on one way. That's a good thing for me. It's grooved, so there's only one way to put it on. You can't do it another way. So anyways, let me finish that. Okay, the other thing is you have to take apart the dash in order to get to the two bolts. There's one identical on the other side. I've already taken apart to get to the cigarette lighter. And then there is a plug and play. This only goes one way as well. Okay, well, before I put it all back together, I want to see if it's going to work. I'm trying to hurry because it's fixing to rain on me, but inside the hood, all of your fuses are in this little box right here next to the battery. There is no other place in the truck with fuses. So you pop this open. It's sealed, supposedly to keep all the moisture out. What I'm looking for is that one there. This is 25. It's supposed to be a 20 amp fuse. I'm going to put the right one in there. How do I know? Because this will tell you, once you learn how to read it. This tells you what your amperage is, and this part of it tells you where it's at. So anyways, I pulled it and it's blown, and I'm going to put the right size fuse in there and we'll see what happens. Okay, one of the main reasons I'm doing this is because that is hooked up to my CarPlay, and instead of plugging and unplugging this every time I get in and out, this is hooked into the ignition. So when I turn the key off, it should shut this off. Therefore my battery won't drain down. So let's see if I got that to work. Alright, let's plug this in. Okay. See if I can do this without blowing up a fuse. Ta-da! It worked. So that was the main purpose of this. So now I can put the dash back together. And I pulled the key and power off. Alright, so let me put the dash back and we'll try it again. Dashes aren't real hard to take in and out. There's literally only 2 screws. You just have to be careful pulling it. You think you're going to break it, but if you just grab a hold of this and give it a good pull, it will start to pop the edges loose, or the top, and when you do, you can just gently pry the rest of it out and the whole thing comes off. There's the plugs you saw that were exposed. You have to unplug those, plug them all back in. They work your 4-wheel drive and all that, so you want to make sure that's done right. Anyways, put the screws in the top. There's only 2 of them. They're hex screws, or the star deals. Anyways, let me get those in and I'll get back. Alright, show you again real quick. Keys on, CarPlay came on. Give it a second. There we go. It's connecting. And there we go. Almost done. There we go. Message. Not hearing that, but that's okay. He wants to hear a commercial. Here at Clemson. Auxiliaries on. Alright, that's all hooked up. Okay. Turn it off. Back on. Input jack. Anyways, it's all working. It's not going to play while the video's working, so anyways. The other thing was to make sure that it goes off when I turn the key off. Key's off, that's off. So we're good. With me, that's another thing done. Anyways, back in a minute. Back in a little while. Thanks for joining me on my little excursion.